trapezoids and kites. And so first of all, this first one you should already know, the area of a triangle. Should be pretty straightforward. And so if you look up here, in this diagram it says BC is 18 centimeters, AD is 9 centimeters. Find the area of triangle ABC. Now in order for us to find the area of a triangle, the height needs to be the perpendicular distance. So in this case, the height has to be the 9. And that'll work. Okay, our base in this case is 18. The height always has to touch that base. Okay. So in this case, I'm just going to take 1/2 times 18 times 9. All right, if you're going to do this in your head, 2 goes into 18 9 times. That's going to leave you with 9 times 9. So the area is 81. Label is centimeters squared. Okay, pretty straightforward. So if the area of this triangle is 32 feet squared, what is the height? Now if you notice on this triangle, it's an obtuse triangle. Whenever you have an obtuse triangle, at least in this drawing, your height extends out. There is another way I could draw a height. I could draw the height in here. Okay, that would work as well, but we're going to go ahead and use the diagram they gave us. And so they say the area is 32, and we have to find the height. So I know that 1/2, the base, what's the base? 8, because this is the 1. The height is always the segment drawn perpendicular to the base, so we know that's h. That's going to equal the area, which in this case is 32. So easy way to do this, what's half of 8? 4. So I have 4h equals 32. I need to solve that for h, so what do you do to both sides? Divide by 4, so your height is 8 feet. Questions? Think you can handle that? Okay, so now we're going to learn about trapezoids and kites. The area of a trapezoid, if you remember, a trapezoid has how many parallel sides? 2. It has 1 pair, okay? And the height is the perpendicular distance between those parallel sides. Right? A kite. What can you tell me about a kite? What are the same? Okay, so when we think about a kite, we have to think about the old school looking kites, because that's essentially what we're dealing with in geometry here with the kites. What do you think D1 and D2 stand for?
Diagonal.
Diagonal 1 and diagonal 2. Okay. So how you find the area is you take half of diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Okay, so far so good? Now, let's go back to the trapezoid, just to make sure we understand what we have here. Here's a trapezoid, something like this. Here's base 1, here's base 2. It doesn't matter which one is which. You could have B2 be the top one, and B1 be the bottom one, just as long as it's the 2 bases. Okay. Your height is always the perpendicular distance. Height always has to be that perpendicular distance. So it's like a parallelogram. It doesn't matter if you know the diagonal distance here. The height has to be the perpendicular distance. So basically on trapezoid, you're adding the bases, taking it times the height, and then times 1/2. Okay. With the kite again, you're just taking the diagonals times each other, and then times 1/2. So let's look at an example. Find the area of the kite. So first of all, I know I've got a 1/2 in there. Now it doesn't matter which one is diagonal 1 or diagonal 2, just as long as you have both of them. So what would be one diagonal?
4.
4? What would be the other diagonal? 10. For those of you wondering where those numbers came from, I have 2 plus 2, which is 4. 2 plus 8, which is 10. So you've got 4 and 10. So real quick, what am I going to get when I multiply that all out? 20 centimeters squared. Okay, not too bad. So let's look at this one. Find the area. So this is a what? Trapezoid. So trapezoid states I've got 1/2. I'm going to add the two bases together. So what are the two bases in this case? 22 and 50. What's the height? 24. So what do you do with the 26 and the 30? You leave them out. You don't do anything. They kind of threw those in as extra things to see if you would use them or not. All right, so now all I have to do is calculate that. 22 and 50 I know is 72. So what does my answer come out to be? Let's go. What's the answer? $864 meters squared. Okay. So, any questions about finding the area of a trapezoid? No. Final thing. Final problem. They give me the area, and I need to find B. Okay. So where do I start? 1/2, yep. 1/2.
16 plus B.
16 plus B, or B plus 16, times 9 equals 126. Very good. And so now I need to solve this. So what I'm going to do first of all, okay, is I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 2. Get rid of that 1/2, okay? So on the left side, those cancel, right? And I've got B plus 16 times 9. What's 126 times 2? 252. Now what else I'm going to do is divide by 9. So what is 252 divided by 9?
28.
28. So you see why I did that? Because then my 9's cancel here, and I've just got B plus 16. If you wanted to, you could have distributed the 9. Okay, you would have added an extra step or two if you would have done that. So then now how do you solve? Subtract 16. Okay, so B equals 12. Label is? Inches. There you go. Like I said, if you didn't see that dividing by the 9 and you distributed, you still would have gotten there. It just would have taken you about a step more. So any questions over area of a triangle, trapezoid, or a kite? Assignment. Here you go. Pages 430 through 432. 1 through 12. And then I need you to do 23 through 28. 23 through 28 is actually a review of section 8.1. Okay? So remember quiz Monday?